So why are we talking teens today? What's going on, I guess, in the kind of the climate, the landscape?
Yeah, well, there's many sixth formers out there right now in Dubai who are awaiting results, awaiting their graduation from sixth form, and many of them will be either going into first jobs or transitioning to university this summer.
And that might be in a completely different country from their friends, their girlfriend, their boyfriend.
Yeah, and even though it's really exciting, it might be quite daunting because it's almost the reverse of the expat effect that we had as adults moving to Dubai in the first place. So there is a lot of excitement, but there's a lot of fear amongst those sixth formers at the moment.
And also a lot of uncertainty about what parents can and maybe should do around those conversations as well. And before we get to the parental piece, why are teen relationships, I mean, hugely exciting and a great time of growth and discovery and all of that. But what about the challenges, Charlotte?
Yeah, so I hear a lot from my university clients, those sixth formers who've transitioned, that they really want to have these conversations. But growing up in Dubai, the curriculum and the education here hasn't allowed, shall we say, such intimate conversations to take place in the school curriculum like it would in Europe, for example. And secondly, those parental conversations can only be surface level because there's a level of embarrassment, there's a level of uncertainty, and even from parents that I speak to, they're like, we want to have those intimate romantic relationship conversations with our children or our teens, but actually it's really uncomfortable for us just as it is for them.
So what are some of the questions, the concerns that teenage clients are coming to you with?
So the teens that come through my door really want to know. They want to be educated. They want to be informed about intimate romantic relationships. And they try and ask their friends, but they all know, let's face it, our friends don't know this either. They're kind of talking from the ego or maybe what they've seen online, the societal norms or conforms that we see in marketing, etc. So when it does come to those romantic relationships, especially at that age where they're going into university and transitioning into the more independent adulthood, they really want to know, and they just want a safe space where they can talk confidentially, no judgment, and talk about their fears or talk about their worries or their concerns or what to do, what to say, rather than feeling I should do this or I should say this because society's saying or my friends are saying or it's expected of me.
Do you feel like there is a lot of bravado about,
Huge bravado when we're talking about this issue.
I think that's always been the case, though. And I think that was, when certainly when I was at school, there was always a lot of bravado about relationships and intimacy. But when it came down to it, no one really knew what they were doing. It's just now that we've got social media, can really kind of exacerbate that and make it so much, that gap feels so much bigger.
Yeah, exactly. And what concerns me as well, being here in the region is, that those teens aren't maybe having as much education on it as they would do in other places of the world.
So then the onus is on them to research it, which, let's be honest, a lot of them are looking in completely the wrong place, which is a topic for another day that I wouldn't be able to actually talk about.
Absolutely.
Or indeed the onus is on the parent to be talking about, puberty, relationships, intimacy, which, as you alluded to earlier, big orcs.
And most university students are going abroad from Dubai, and they're going back into westernized society, and they're just not prepared. Dubai's an incredible place, and it's very safe. And university and the lifestyle that can bring can put teens in predicaments that they feel uncomfortable in.
Yeah. Can we help out a listener? A message here saying a daughter is 18 and recently her boyfriend of a year broke up with him, claims he's just isn't in love with her anymore and wants to see other girls over the summer and into university. Says, I've been with my husband since I was 16, so I've never had to deal with a breakup. I'm trying to distract her, but how can I make this easier on her? I'm trying to leave her be to cry, but she's... I love this, honest. I expect them to break up, but secretly hoped but once she was at university and the excitement of hall and classes would keep her busy. Not now. So, oh gosh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Heartbreak at any age can be exceptionally overwhelming and really challenging. And depending on what your daughter is internalizing and saying about herself regarding this breakup is where the pain point is and where the hurt comes from. Most clients who, go through a breakup kind of internalize, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. Like, why aren't I liked? Why aren't I as good as, the new boyfriend or the new girlfriend? Am I stupid? It goes back to that should I have done X, Y, and Z. there's almost denial. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe there's anger. And it sounds like she's in the kind of depression stage. And you pass through 5 stages of grief and it can kind of go back around. So just giving her the space, but also asking if she wants to talk about it. Most people who are heartbroken really want to emotionally dump. But maybe they feel that maybe I've dumped too much. But if you're happy to have that ear, just keep saying, if you want to talk about it, I'm here. Asking them what they need. Some people need hugs, some people don't. Some people need space, some people don't. So really go, what do you need? How can I support you?
What about some of the worst things a parent could say following teenage heartbreak? I'm just thinking about
there's plenty more fish in the sea.
You're only young. All that.
Yeah.
So we weren't validating.
Do never ever invalidate someone's feelings. Never brush them off because they are feeling them and they are very real for that person at any age. So it's just sit with them in that discomfort, in that space, so that they feel seen, validated and supported.
What about advice to any teens listening today, Charlotte, who are maybe worried that, maybe their girlfriend or boyfriend is going to break up with them before university, or they're feeling insecure about that first semester and, freshers week and heads being turned and being left behind?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can never know what somebody else is thinking, what somebody else is feeling, or how someone else is going to behave. We can only focus on our own security within ourselves. And what I advise is there's no point in worrying about something that hasn't happened. When we think too much in the future, it can create more anxiety. So try and focus on the present moment now. But it's, the problem with is moving away is you lose your friend network, you lose your family network. And as an 18-year-old with unregulated hormones, unregulated emotions, the impulses that can come quite easily. I mean, let's face it, most adults don't know how to regulate themselves either. But when we're younger, we haven't had as much practice, shall we say. And it can be a very overwhelming and lonely experience. So fill yourself up with activities, exercise, building that friendship network as soon as you get to uni, as much as you can.
And for anyone listening who would love their teen to have someone to talk to, whether that is about, emotional struggles or answering questions about relationships and intimacy, what's the best way of getting in touch with you?
Yeah, please reach out to me on charlottespurway.com and we can have a chat and get ready for university. And I support many students through the first year at least, when they go to another country, because it can be very overwhelming and scary time. So yeah, find me on Instagram as well, at Charlie Psychology.